Hello, everyone. Mike Meeback with KTVU Fox 2. Look, every school in America has been impacted by the pandemic, and right now we're going to focus in on those schools that focus in on arts and art programs. And we're going to have a good conversation. We're joined by two individuals to talk about this. Michelle Cortez, the director of the Marin School of the Arts, located just about 20 miles north of San Francisco in Novato, and Ann Atkinson, who is the president of the Marin School of the Arts Foundation. Thank you both for joining us.
Thank
We're happy
you.
to be here.
So Michelle, I'll start with you. Just kind of open it up for those who don't know this school and what exactly you guys do there. Let our viewers know here.
It's a rather unique and beautiful partnership because we are actually a specialized program within a comprehensive high school. And it really offers kids not only in Novato, which is where we sit, but also in our surrounding community to get a college level rigorous arts education while they're still having the full high school experience. So they still get to do sports, have AP classes, they could have special education, whatever they need, and still have art mentors who are working artists themselves and high school teachers.
Okay, art's a very wide-ranging word. I mean, what classes do you guys focus in on there?
Yeah, wide-ranging is what we are. So we have 13 different disciplines, and from drawing and painting and drama and jazz studies, vocal music. We also have video game design, which is our newest, photography, product design. So we really offer creative students who are looking to explore their identities, purposes, and passions. We give them this kind of like a wonderful creative think tank for them to discover who they want to be and how they want to solve problems in the future.
How many at the school? What's the population or the student body there?
Well, so the school is 1,400 kids, but a third of them, about 500 of them, are in our specialized program. They're MSA students and Novato High School students.
Okay. And I know every year there's a big showcase that happens there at the Marin School of the Arts. There's a hiccup this year. There's a pandemic, and you guys are having to deal with this. What exactly is the showcase in place, and how important is it for not only the students, but of course the school itself?
Yes.
Well, I'll take the first part. Go for it, Ann.
Yeah, big hiccup. The showcase, every year at the end of the year, we showcase our students and all of the work that they've been doing in every discipline in a big production. And it usually involves about 100 of our students performing that night. That was scheduled for March 28th, and obviously that couldn't happen this year. So we had to do a quick pivot to figure out, now what do we do? Because in addition to showcasing our beautiful students, it's also a major fundraiser for our foundation. And we couldn't do it. So we decided, well, what can we do? And we were inspired by a lot of the things that we were seeing online. We were inspired by what the kids were doing in place, dealing with being at home 24/7 and not being able to practice their arts in community. And so we decided to go with this online fundraiser, our first ever. And so far, so good. It's been a wild ride, but it's looking very positive.
I bet. Michelle, when you think of the showcase in place, what do you think that represents?
In all circumstances, arts have the ability to allow students to process what's really the world around them and their current thoughts and feelings about the world. And that is absolutely true for this showcase in place during these times. So, at first, like many students and like many people across the country, we were a little bit in shock about our what was happening to us. And kids used their passion and their arts, and they used the skills and the feedback to really
breaking up a little bit.
Yeah, to make some beautiful work.
Yeah, you broke up a little bit there, but if you could just re-say again, probably your
Sure.
last thought.
So students are at home and they are thinking about what this means, and it really is a unique event in most of our lives. And they're making art that expresses exactly how they feel and exactly how they're processing the world right now. So it's a beautiful event. It's heartwarming and funny and touching and surprising. And it also shows us that it's not just professional ballerinas or stars that can make heartfelt art, but it's also our teenagers, our own kids.
So take me back. Take me inside the venue. I mean, this is a live performance. in years past. So what would exactly would we see if we were to go inside?
Well, Anne's had 3 children move through MSA, so she's been to many, many showcases. Do you want to take that, Anne?
Sure.
Yeah.
So normally we would be at a large venue where we'd have 300 to 500 people in the room watching everyone perform, from our jazz band to our classical musicians to our theater students. We'd show some feature films. We'd do a slideshow of what our visual arts students were working on all of year. A lot of energy in the room, a lot of love. Both from the parents and the greater community. Yeah.
So how did you get from this live performance to what we're going to see come tomorrow in this virtual world?
A whole lot of magic. And some asking of students. We asked students to submit to us what they were doing while they were sheltering in place, how their art was inspiring them during shelter in place. So you'll see some of that. Some of our film students had already completed their film projects for the year, so you'll see some completed films. Also, many of our teachers assigned things for their students to do while they're sheltering in place, and working with some of our professional artists, particularly our theater students. So you'll see some really fun, learning that's been happening while they're in place. It's all woven together into a beautiful production.
Well, Michelle, did you have any doubt? I mean, I don't know who pitched the idea. It may have been you, Michelle, or I'm not sure, but did you have any doubt that this could actually be done?
Well, I will say it's Teacher Appreciation Week and it's almost Mother's Day. So at first, to answer your question, yes, we had some doubts. But I think that our foundation and our moms pushed on us to say, yes, you can, you're brilliant. And our teachers just really stepped up and thought about, how do I take this situation and how do we learn something from it? And how do we record this moment in time in a way that is authentic, in a way that is relevant and offers kids a lot of choices? So in some ways we let go of the reins a little bit and let them submit whatever they want. And, honestly, we were so impressed and so touched by the work that they did. So it was a lovely experiment, and it's coming together in just really, I think, a profound way.
Yeah, I'm
so a little shout out to our seniors. I've got a senior, and as you know, our senior class has really taken a hit with this shelter in place. There's no prom, there's no final senior performances, there's no graduation as it appears. And so we also have a little special shout out to our seniors to honor them and their special year.
Yeah, I remember my senior year like a T. I mean, it was magical, especially those final 4 and 5 months. And you mentioned the foundation. I'm curious because obviously you're raising money in live performance. How did you raise money? I mean, was it just tickets at the door? And moving forward, I mean, obviously there's no door to move in. So how do you expect to raise money to keep the foundation going, to keep the school going, to keep those doors open for more students in the future to come through?
Yeah, those are great questions. In the past, we've had event sponsors, and we still have event sponsors for this particular event. Our tickets are free this year, so anyone can come and enjoy the show. And throughout the show, you'll see some asks. We have a text to give opportunity, as well as going online to our Marin School of the Arts.org website. We are asking for support. We weren't able to hold that last fundraiser, and we want our kids to be fully resourced in the fall when they come back to school. And in order to do that, we do need to have this fundraiser, but that is how we're doing it. And we also have some really generous donors already in place. We have matches that people, when they text in $100 or $250 donation, they'll be matched by some of our generous families. So we have a lot of tricks up our sleeve.
Okay, good. And I know you mentioned you have a senior, and I'm sure son or daughter?
Daughter. She's in the vocal program.
Great. I'm sure she's going to go on and do tremendous things. Michelle, give a few examples of where your students go after they leave.
Sure. I'm so glad you asked that. Through a mask, yesterday I was talking to a student who got accepted to Stanford. She's a theater arts student. She's been in our theater program for 4 years, just starred in 9. And she's not going to go on to do theater in college and beyond, but she has so many personal skills and relational skills and such an ability to connect with people and serve. So that's one example. And you should, your daughter has some great plans.
Well, so Sarah is graduating for the vocal program. It's the same thing. She's not going to go on to the arts, but she is going on to Cal Poly to study business and plans to engage in, vocal extracurricular activities, vocal groups while she's there. And my son, Paul, he was a jazz trumpet player while he was at MSA. He's now graduating. I have two seniors, graduating from UCLA in the neuroscience department, but he played his trumpet in the marching band at UCLA and loved it. And my oldest was in the digital arts program, and he did want to pursue the arts. So he went on to Cal Arts to study graphic design. So we really have some kids that go full-time into the arts, and some that just take an appreciation and love of the arts with them.
Either way, it does seem that Marin School of the Arts, I mean, it's a place that sets the foundation for young men and women as they move on to college, no matter what they decide to do in life. And in schools like this, and there are other schools similar to it, I can imagine across the country, Michelle, that they're important and they need to stay alive and they need to be out there, because a lot of public school districts, they've had to cut programs here and there. Can you just real quickly talk about the importance of schools like yours across the country?
Our school is actually rather unique in that it is a specialized program within a large comprehensive school. Kids have to take 2 classes in their art field throughout their time here. So they take 8 classes while they're here. But we really encourage this idea of a healthy community, and a healthy community has engagement in multiple different ways. And we depend on the foundation and different parents to raise the funds to augment that because we couldn't do it on a public school budget alone. But at the same time, we really appreciate the idea that engagement can look a lot of different ways for different families. And so it might mean serving as a booster, or it might mean just being more involved as a high school parent in your child's passions at school. So it's unique in many ways, our model. And it's also, it kind of replicates a sports model in some ways with sports boosters. When you have a really strong sports school, that's us, but we're a public school that is heavily arts influenced. So you can feel the art influence, even if you're not an art student, walking through the halls of Novato High. And that's what makes it really special and really unique.
Very unique right there. And when it comes to the showcase in place, where can our viewers, we can see it? I know we're going to post it on our website, but where is there a YouTube or?
Yes. So we, all you have to do is go on to eventbrite.com and search Marin School of the Arts, and it will pop up there, the free registration. And once you register, we'll send you a direct link to how to access the show tomorrow night, 7:30. Always a good idea to try to get in a few minutes early, 7:25 or so, to make sure you don't miss anything. And it won't take your whole evening, so it's about 45-minute show.
Okay, great. And I know we're going to put the link also on our website at coronavirusnow.com. And again, that's Saturday, May 9th, 7:30 Pacific Standard Time. Michelle, Ann, thank you very much for the conversation, and thank you both for all you do for those students.
Thank you.
All right, and again, a reminder to all our viewers, again, we have this interview, we have other interviews all tied to the COVID-19 pandemic, again, at coronavirusnow.com. Michelle, Ann, thank you. Have a great weekend.
You too.
Thank you.